Castle Itter as I just go through a playtest myself on Tabletop Simulator. So I'm going to use this as a way to describe the game and give an overview of the rules as I play through it. I've got the board set up here. All of the defenders are down here in the initial setup. These are all of the SS attackers. All of the starting positions for the SS have been filled with one rifleman each. And we have some reinforcements here. These will come in for the defenders. These will come in later in the game, potentially. We've got the dice that we use to roll to see where new SS attackers come from. These dice will be used for attacking. These dice are used for suppression. This tracks the actions each turn for the defenders. And then everything else is combat positions and the track for the SS to go through. So I'll describe those as they become important. So at this point, once the game is set up, the defenders get to take their first round of actions, so they get to take 5 actions. The player can use any defenders they want. The only rule is that they have to pick defenders, 5 defenders to use to take the 5 actions with. They have to place them on the board, and then each defender can take an action. So the Besotten Jenny, the tank that's featured prominently on the Castle Itter scenario, it's very key to making sure that a lot of the most common SS positions that are going to be occupied in the game are suppressed. So we're going to be rolling 2d6 to see where the SS defenders come out of. And so all of these positions here are positions that Besotten Jenny can suppress. And since we'll be rolling 2d6, it's obvious that the numbers 7, 8, 9, 10 are going to come up a lot. So the crew for the Besotten Jenny are going to play a very important role. So we're just going to go ahead and start placing the crew in the Besotten Jenny, since we know it'll be important. So all the members of the crew, all the people who can actually use the different aspects of the Besotten Jenny, have the special trait, the T here, which just means tank crew. That's what it stands for. So basically, it's all of these defenders here. So these are actually the crew of the Besotten Jenny, these 5. And then this was a tank commander for a different tank that happened to join up with the group during the scenario. So in this case, we're just going to pick, we need 4 guys that we're going to use for the crew. So we're going to pick these guys. We're going to leave the tank commanders out for now. Okay. From a game mechanic perspective, since the crew are going to would typically be cross-trained in different aspects of the tank, it's not super important which actual guy occupies each position. So we're just going to go ahead and throw them on the tank real quick. And we'll go through. So each defender gets placed, and then each defender is going to take a turn. So we'll let the loader. He's going to take a turn, so we'll flip his token over. The grade outside means that he's taken an action. He's the loader, so in this case, the load position in the Besotten Jenny is a special action that then you put a load token on the operator for the cannon, the gunner. So now it's loaded, so he can take his action to then take the load token back off. And he's going to suppress. He could either attack or he could suppress. In this case, he's going to suppress. So we need 6 dice, 6 suppression dice. And we're going to take those and we're going to put them here near this box marked suppression. Okay, so we'll put them there. They don't have to fit exactly in the box. Then the other 2 operators, a 50 cal and a 30 cal, are both going to take there, and they are also both going to suppress. Now again, they could attack if they wanted to. Each of these numbers is the first number is attacking, the second number is suppressing. In this case, we really are going to concentrate on suppressing. So I'm just going to keep adding that. And as it becomes important for an example, I'll really describe the difference between attacking and suppressing. But in general, you want to suppress whenever possible. That keeps guys from adding to the advancement tracks for the SS. So one of those was a 4 suppress, one of them was a 3. So now we have 13 suppression dice for the Besotten Jinni. So it's going to do a really good job here of watching over that side of the approach. So we've taken 4 actions. Okay. So what else do we want to do? It's going to become important at some point in the game for one of our French VIPs to try to escape. That's a very key aspect of the scenario, and that was a key aspect in the game. So looking at the board, it's useful to kind of think through, okay, plan ahead. Which way am I going to want to escape? So let's just say for the example, I'm going to try to escape on the southern approach. Now there's 3 positions on the southern approach, but the likelihood of those being rolled for new incoming SS units is pretty low. We're talking about rolling a 2, 12, and an 11. So I think maybe we can concentrate on trying to get him to escape through the southern approach. So of all the different defenders I have left, we're going to choose the bar gunner here, because the bar gunner is good at attacking, very good at suppressing, more so than any other defender. So we're going to take the bar gunner and we're going to bring him up here. And again, now we want to cover the southern approach. So he could be in the southern terrace, or he could be up here. And the reason why, these squares are colored green, all of these green squares, means that anyone that's in a green combat position, or at least partially green combat position, can attack against these. So he could be up here in the keep, or he could be here in the Great Hall and attack any of these positions. However, if he wants to suppress, only people in the southern terrace can suppress. So you see we've got the southern terrace identified, it comes down here, it suppresses green. So we really want to use the bar gunner to help suppress. So let's put him here in this position. He's going to take his action, last action we have, and he is going to suppress. Now, I'm running out of suppression dice. We only have 20. That's the most number of suppression dice you can have. But I promise you, the likelihood of running out of suppression dice is actually pretty low. We'll be spending those pretty quickly. So that's an example of the first turn for the defenders. I'll go through an example of now what the SS units are going to do. The SS units, the first thing you do is divide up the decks. So we're going to progress through the decks in order. I've just gonna have to lay them out in a certain sequence, but normally in the game you'd divide up the decks and then you'd stack them. So in a normal game, this would be on top, this would be on bottom, and these would be in between. Okay, so I'll just grab a card here, see what it is. So we'll flip it over, and it is a rifleman, and we're going to be placing 2 riflemen. So how do we do that? It's very simple. We're going to grab these blue dice, shake them up a little bit, roll them, and it's an 8. Okay, so an 8 means a rifleman would come out here. Now, if we do nothing to suppress the rifleman, we'd be placing a new rifleman here, and then the existing rifleman would advance down the path. But we really don't want to do that. That was the whole reason we spent a ton of effort and actions suppressing. So you can take any number of suppression dice. You just have to declare it before you roll. And in this case, the rifleman, he's going to be attacking with a 1, or really trying to suppress the defenders with a 1. And he defends on a 3, meaning that we need to roll a 3 or higher to suppress him on at least 1 die. So pretty good chance, 66% chance per dice. In this case, let's just say we don't want to take any chances. We really want to suppress him. So we roll a couple of dice. And we roll a 4 and a 5. Either of those by itself would have been able to suppress him. We just did a little bit extra. So he is suppressed, so he never comes out onto the board. But keep in mind, we were supposed to be placing 2 of these guys. So now Once you've resolved for the first, you roll for the second. And it's going to be a 2. Okay, here's 2. Again, we have our bar gunner suppressing. Remember, our plan was to try to escape through the southern approach. So we really don't want another rifleman coming out. Though, in actuality, all it would do is push this rifleman into the red, and that's okay. We still would have to clear out green and not red to try to escape. But regardless, we will go ahead and at least try to suppress him. So we're going to spend 1 die. And yep, there we go. So we rolled a 5. So he's suppressed. He didn't come out. Okay, so that's the first card. For every SS turn, we're always going to flip over 3 cards and do whatever it says. Okay, scouts. I'm going to place 2 scouts. Now, what's the difference between a scout and a rifleman? The scouts, they don't really have any attacking ability. They don't suppress. Their main role is to push forward the line of approach for the SS attackers. So they have a very good defense. They defend on up to 5, meaning to suppress or to target and attack them, we're going to have to roll a 5 or higher, so 33% chance per guy. So let's see where the first one comes. Alright, 10. So he's going to be here. Now, this will, it's a black space or gray space, which can be suppressed by the guys in the Basat and Jenny, so that's good. If the scout comes out, it's going to push this rifleman into green, which again is not what we want. We don't want green occupied by the SS units because we said we wanted to escape through green. Though, of course, at this point, if green keeps getting clogged up, maybe we'll change that approach. But for now, we want to stick with it. We're going to go ahead and we're really wanting to get this scout suppressed. We really don't want that guy to advance. So let's go ahead and use 3 of our suppression dice. Let's actually roll these. Okay, so we rolled a 6, a 3, and a 5. So he was suppressed on the 6 or the 5. So we don't place him, but we got 1 more to roll. So we're supposed to be placing 2 of them. Another 10. Let's re-roll that again. We got a little bit of lag here as I'm screen recording Tabletop Simulator. It gives it a little bit of lag. So let's really give these a good roll. Okay, 6. So let's go up to 6. That's the northern or the northwestern approach. We have no one up here. We have no suppression against it. So there's nothing we can do to stop the scout from coming onto the board. So we're going to take him. We'll put the scout here on 6. And that pushes the rifleman forward along the track. So he's now advanced. Okay, so that's our first 2 cards. We're going to do our last card for the SS for the turn. Oh no, another scout. Okay, so these guys are pushing forward. So let's try to stop them. Hopefully we have a chance to suppress them. We might not. Okay, 7. So it's up here. You know, it doesn't really affect our southern approach, but still, you know, the 7 is going to be the most common ruled number, and these scouts are hard to kill. If you don't suppress them when you have the chance, you could really regret it later on. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 suppression dice here to really try to focus on getting this guy. Okay, and we got him. We got 2 5s, so we did plenty well to suppress him. And then we've got to do 1 more. Alright, 4. So we can't suppress him because we don't have anybody suppressing on the western side here, the keep, which suppresses against red. So the scout will come out. Oh man. Again, when you're screen recording, it really does some interesting things with the ability to interact with Tabletop Simulator. Okay, so he's going to come out at 4. He pushes the rifleman forward. And that's it. The SS, all 3 cards have been played. And so at this point, we've completed the first turn of the defenders, the first turn of the attackers. So I'm gonna stop there. I'll do another screen recording here once the game has been advanced a bit in the middle of the game. But I do want to make one thing. I do want to mention one more thing. So later in the game, once all of the defenders are out, when it's the defender's turn, you can just pick whichever characters or defenders you want to take actions with. There's no real limitation. But until all of these guys are on the board, the one limitation I have is I have to choose from these guys first, get them onto the board, take actions with them, before I can do anything with any of the other defenders that are already on the board. So all of these, the Passat and Jenny crew and our Bar Gunner, I cannot choose to take actions with them for this turn. Okay, so I'll be back later during the middle of the game when it's going to be more important to talk about distinguishing between attacking and suppressing, other things like that. Hopefully I'll be in good shape. So talk to you soon.